Thanks everybody for joining on late on a Friday. Appreciate your presence. I'm California Attorney General Rob Bonta, and this afternoon I, along with 18 of my fellow attorneys general, sued the Trump administration to stop the unauthorized and unlawful disclosure of Americans' private and sensitive information to associates at the Department of Government Efficiency, more commonly known as DOGE. An organization, by the way, run by billionaire private citizen Elon Musk. And before I get into the details, I want to thank the members of my team at California DOJ who've been working around the clock, working overtime, particularly the Government Law Section and Office of the Solicitor General. Thank you to my team. I'll wait a few more seconds to let folks in. Thanks everybody for joining on late on a Friday. Appreciate your presence. I'm California Attorney General Rob Bonta, and this afternoon I, along with 18 of my fellow attorneys general, sued the Trump administration to stop the unauthorized and unlawful disclosure of Americans' private and sensitive information to associates at the Department of Government Efficiency, more commonly known as DOGE. An organization, by the way, run by billionaire private citizen Elon Musk. And before I get into the details, I want to thank the members of my team at California DOJ who've been working around the clock, working overtime, particularly the Government Law Section and Office of the Solicitor General. Thank you to my team. They are all dedicated public servants who've been working tirelessly to monitor the barrage, the blitz, the frenzy of executive orders and actions pouring out of this administration so that we can take swift, meaningful action when they break the law. The Treasury Department's decision to provide DOGE associates access to the Treasury's central payment system blatantly violates the American people's right to privacy and puts vital payment systems at risk. It's a flagrant abuse of the trust the American people put in our federal government, and it's a gross and blatant power grab. President Trump has no constitutional, statutory, or regulatory authority to expand unauthorized access to the payment system for political appointees or special government employees, no matter how wealthy they are or how many companies they've led. The president doesn't have the authority to give away access to Americans' bank account information or Social Security numbers at his leisure. Our private data isn't Mr. Trump's to share. It isn't Mr. Musk's to mine. We're asking the court to immediately halt this dangerous access and permanently prevent political appointees, special government employees, or employees from an agency outside of the Treasury Department from gaining access to Americans' private, personally sensitive information. The Treasury Department's payment system, managed by the Bureau of the Fiscal Service, BFS, is responsible for paying the U.S. government's bills, sending trillions of dollars each year in Social Security payments, Medicare benefits, veterans benefits, salary payments, tax refunds, and more. Payments that millions of Americans rely on, that Americans have earned, deserve, and are owed. Payments Americans count on coming through without a hiccup, payments that are needed to fund essential state programs. These payment systems are critical, sensitive, and undeniably vital to the economic stability and security of our nation, which is why federal law strictly limits access to a select group of civil servants who have the appropriate clearances, why access has been and should be highly regulated and tightly guarded until Trump took office and brought along his billionaire buddy. It's unclear all that Musk and his team would do with this expanded access, but we know what they could do. With the click of a button, they could block federal funds for healthcare, childcare, and other critical services. They could interfere with billions of dollars that states rely on for law enforcement, public education, and infrastructure repairs. Can't wait around and see what DOGE does with our data. We need to protect it now. As a people, we should be able to entrust our federal government with our sensitive personal information. We should be able to trust that the people who have access to it are qualified, vetted, and trustworthy. We should be able to trust that the federal government will make its payments on time, just as we expect of any employer or consumer. We should be able to trust that those running our federal government are abiding by the laws and operating within the bounds of our Constitution. The Trump administration and DOGE are not. As Chief Law Officer of the state of California, it's my job to uphold and enforce our laws and protect the people of this great state. Today, that includes suing the federal administration to stop them from violating the law. Before I open it up to questions, I want to recognize the members of my team at California Department of Justice who made this lawsuit possible: Michael Cohen, Nick Green, Mark Beckington, Jay Russell, Thomas Patterson, Stacy Schesser, John Echeverria, Christina Bull-Arndt, John Wolf, Ellie Bloom. Thank you to my team. And with that, I'd be happy to take questions.
Thank you. If you'd like to ask a question, please click the raise hand icon at the bottom of your screen. Then you will be moved to the queue. I will call on you, and then you can state your name and publication. You can also use the Q&A feature at the bottom of your screen to ask your question, or email our press inbox, and we can read the question for you. First question comes from Rachel. Rachel, you're now unmuted.
Great. Thanks so much. And thanks, Mr. Attorney General. Rachel Bluth from Politico here. Is there any evidence yet that any individual Californians' data has been impacted? Or can you point to any specific state programs that are having payment problems?
Right now, we are focused on the violations of the law that exist based on the access to unauthorized users like Elon Musk. We are asserting claims under the Administrative Procedures Act that say there's no authority for this authorization to unqualified, unvetted individuals, that the following procedures weren't followed, and that there's no rationale for it, that it's arbitrary and capricious. We also have a constitutional claim that the only reason that to provide this access would be to do what the Trump administration has been saying, promising, threatening to do, which is block payments. We have evidence that $3 trillion was sought to be blocked with an OMB memo that we have a separate litigation on. We also have a constitutional claim based on the Take Care Clause, which indicates that it's the executive branch's job to execute the laws, to take care that they are executed appropriately, including all of the privacy protections that apply here. And there are multiple statutes and regulations that apply here. So the access, we believe, creates injury. And when there is imminence and predictability that injury may come, we believe that that's an appropriate time to act. And that's why we've acted here.
Thanks.
Next question comes from Laurel. Laurel, you're now unmuted.
Thank you. I just wanted to clarify because there are so many different actions going on. So yesterday, your office put out a statement saying that you would be suing over this, and there was some media coverage. And today you actually filed the suit, and so this discussion right now is because what you said yesterday that would happen now today has happened, or is there some different action that happened today different from what you said yesterday would happen?
Thank you. You have it right. We made a statement yesterday to communicate to our constituents who are very concerned, and we have been flooded. Our inbox has been flooded, and we are not alone among attorneys general nationwide with concerned Americans who are beside themselves that Elon Musk and others in DOGE have access to their Social Security information, their bank account information, their private identifying information. And we thought it was very appropriate to let them know that we are tracking that issue. We care too. We are going to act. And sometimes as we prepare the litigation, there's a time period where those assurances made to Americans who are concerned and worried and reaching out to us and asking us if we're concerned too, and if we're going to help and if we're going to act, it's important to provide those assurances. So yesterday was a commitment to take appropriate action and to defend the privacy rights of Americans who are rightfully concerned that Elon Musk and others have access to their private information when they shouldn't, and when it's unlawful to do so. And today is a full fulfillment of that promise, keeping of a promise, and actual filing of the lawsuit in federal court in New York.
Great. Thank you for clarifying.
Sure.
Next question comes from Maya. You are now unmuted.
Thank you. I was wondering, does this suit specifically target data sharing from the U.S. Treasury Department, or is it broader than that? And also, in which jurisdiction did you file?
This is about DOGE's access to the U.S. Treasury payment system, which is responsible for billions, trillions of dollars of payments directly to Americans, directly, things like Social Security payments, Medicare payments, tax refunds, that's the individuals, and also payments directly to states, things like public safety grants, childcare, healthcare payments, infrastructure payments, FEMA payments to states. So it is how trillions of dollars are paid every year. And a lot of sensitive information is held there. So it's the Department of Treasury's payment system that we're focused on, and DOGE's access thereto. We filed in the United States District Court of the Southern District of New York.
And I think that's it for questions.
Thanks, everybody. I know it's fast and furious. Thanks for joining on short notice. Always appreciate your participation. Thanks for your questions today and your presence.